All right, well, good afternoon or good evening. My name is Greg Fenves. I'm president of the University of Texas at Austin. I want to welcome you to my office. This actually is my office. That's my chair, and I still have a few papers left in my inbox, but I will get those done today. Just as a matter of history, I think many of you know the main building was built in the 1930s as the main library, and this room was the rare books collection, and this was a reading room in the rare books library. And there are alumni from the university from 1970 or earlier that would occasionally get highly coveted passes to come up to this reading room to study or to use the resources here. But I'm pretty sure I have the best university president's office in the country. It's a real honor to be here. But the subject for today's event is to welcome the Texas State Historical Association back to the University of Texas at Austin. Let's give everybody a round of applause. We have a couple of special guests, some of whom you'll hear from. But first of all, I'd like to just introduce one of my predecessors, Larry Faulkner, former president of the University of Texas. And we're going to be recognizing the Summerlee Foundation. So John Crane is the president of the Summerlee Foundation, and Dr. Ron Taylor, the vice president of the Summerlee Foundation. I know I saw Ron, met Ron. There's Ron right back there. So let's give the Summerlee Foundation a round of applause. Well, again, we are very happy to have the Texas State Historical Association back on the University of Texas campus. The association was founded in 1897, so not too long after the founding of the university itself. And we are proud of the role that the University of Texas has had in preserving the rich history of our state and working with the Historical Association in being able to do that. So tonight we are celebrating the association's return and some very exciting news that we want to recognize and celebrate. The creation of the Summerlee Foundation Chair in Texas History. The Summerlee Foundation Chair in Texas History. So, thank you, John and Ron, and especially the entire Summerlee Foundation for supporting the endowment to establish this chair. The chair holder will be a faculty member in the College of Liberal Arts, and I want to introduce the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Dr. Randy Deal. And Randy's been instrumental in helping put this all together. The chair will be the TSHA's chief historian, overseeing all the scholarly publications of the association, including the famous Southwestern Historical Quarterly and what the association is known for by Texans across the state, the Handbook of Texas and its online version. Most importantly, the chief historian will maintain the highest academic standards for the association's publications and programming. We expect to recruit a world-class holder for the chair to join our top-ranked history department in the fall of 2016. And so to give you an update on the search for the chair and the interview process for the chair, the chief historian, and the Summerlee chair holder, please welcome the department chair for history, Dr. Jackie Jones. And I think you have your paper. Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks very much, President Fenves. And let me, on behalf of my colleagues in the UT History Department, thank the Summerlee Foundation for its generous endowment to support the incoming TSHA Chief Historian. This is really wonderful news. We're thrilled about this. The endowment will certainly help to ensure that the chief historian has the resources to continue with his or her scholarly agenda while also teaching UT undergrads and graduate students and serving the TSHA. So I'll just say that the department has been working very closely with the TSHA leadership in a search for the next chief historian. This process is ongoing. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank members of the search committee. Emilio Zamora is here with us tonight. Other members of the search committee include Bill Brands, Ann Twynham, Madeline Shu, Dinah Ramey Berry, and graduate students Nick Rowland and Christina Villarreal. And ex officio on the committee is Lynn Denton, the current president of the TSHA. So it's a great committee. We've worked well, we've worked hard, and we will continue to do so. And before I go on, I just want to acknowledge my predecessor here. Alan Tully is here. Can we recognize him? And Alan has made the UT History Department what it is today, and we are all very much in his debt. So, well, in any case, obviously the department is looking forward to a long and fruitful partnership with the TSHA as we move forward in this next chapter of the association's history. We're so happy to have the quarterly, the handbook, the annual program, meeting program coming out of the department from now on. This partnership, I'm sure, will not only be mutually beneficial to the TSHA and the department, but it also brings exciting possibilities for both of us. And we're glad to be a part of this process. So for me, one of the great pleasures working with the TSHA this year has been getting to know and to work with CEO Brian Bollinger. Brian is back there. And also the incoming president of the TSHA, Steve Cook, who is here tonight too. But it's my great pleasure now to introduce Lynn Denton, the current president of the TSHA. She's a professor of history at Texas State University. Lynn received her PhD in anthropology from UT Austin. She's a distinguished scholar of representation and material culture and an expert on museums and public history. I'll just note that in 2007, she was awarded the President's Award of the Texas Association of Museums. And I personally feel we've been so lucky that Lynn is holding this office this year. It's been wonderful to work with her. So I almost said for her, but
I'm sure she feels that way some days. Thank you, Jackie and President Fenves. 2015 has been a year to celebrate at TSHA. It really has. We returned to UT, to the Department of History, in a renewed and reinvigorated relationship, and it's been very exciting. I want to formally reiterate our appreciation for this new beginning by presenting Dr. Fenves with a copy of the 6-volume set of the Handbook of Texas, and of course this is only one. This is truly a historic document because, as you all now know, the handbook is really totally a digital publication, so this will be one for the records. However, today's cause for celebration is the announcement of the Summerlee Foundation Chair in Texas History to support the scholarly work of the Chief Historian, as you've just heard. This endowed chair builds on the generosity of 5 families who established the corpus of the endowment at the University of North Texas. And I just want to take a minute to thank JP and Mary John Bryan, Jeff Haynes, John Middleton, Margaret V. Hoya, and Chris Reeder for those initial gifts. The Summerlee Foundation is an organization that sees opportunities and makes them reality. Founded in 1988, the foundation has as a primary focus to address significant issues in Texas history. It's been a steadfast and generous supporter of the Texas State Historical Association for over 2 decades. This cumulative support well exceeds $3 million, with the foundation leading the way in the TSHA Comprehensive Capital Campaign. Most notably, that support was visionary in its form because it provided the resources to quadruple our membership through creative digital engagement and outreach, as well as supporting core educational programs and the long-term health of this organization. Their focus on organizational sustainability is reshaping the landscape for historic organizations in Texas and across the nation. So on behalf of the board of the Texas State Historical Association, I would like to express our deep gratitude and heartfelt thanks for your commitment to history in the broadest sense, to TSHA in particular, and to our partnership with the University of Texas by creating the Summerlee Foundation Chair in Texas History. Please join me in thanking and welcoming John Crane, TSHA Life Board Member and President of the Summerlee Foundation.
I'm not sure I can speak after those words. Thank you, Lynn. President Fenves and distinguished members of UT's faculty and administration and officers and directors of the Texas State Historical Association, and of course distinguished friends of both organizations. What a pleasure it is to be here today on this occasion. First, let me thank President Fenves and his staff for this festive occasion. It was nice to have some food and drink when we have celebrations, and it's nice to do so in a room that I remember was a library. I go back a few years. I worked for Humanities Research Center, and I remember pushing a cart over here on more than one occasion because the president used the collections to raise funds for this university. And it was pretty effective, President, so you may be doing the very same thing. I don't know. But please know, Greg and Lynn, that we're convinced that this chair will provide a solid foundation for a new and dynamic partnership between the University of Texas and the Texas State Historical Association, one that really began back in 1897. We also share the vision with you that critical thinking and historical literacy are essential elements in understanding our changing society. And we believe that this is so important, and we strongly believe that the history department at the University of Texas practices this art very efficiently, and we thank you for what you do. Two of our board members are present. We've mentioned Dr. Tyler, who I'll ask to come up to speak and say a few words, but we also have Dr. Bruseth, Jim Bruseth, who's a new member of our board. Jim, you may know, is the state archaeologist who, I guess we say that you uncovered LaBelle. You can't say you discovered LaBelle. Excavated LaBelle, which is the LaSalle ship in Matagorda Bay. Jim has made a career now out of LaSalle, and of course now he'll be making a career out of the Summerlee Foundation, we hope. So it's great to have two directors here. It takes directors to keep an eye on me. Otherwise, I might get carried away and do something unbelievable. Ron, if you'll come forward and make a few comments. Ron was director of the Texas State Historical Association for several years. He was on the faculty at the University of Texas, and then went to the Amon Carter Museum as director. It's all yours. And he's also our director. Ron?
John said he'd been around for a long time. I think I may have a few years on you, John. I was recalling just yesterday that Professor George P. Garrison, back in 1896, had just completed his PhD and become chair of the history department. And one of the first things he did was to send out a notice asking for people to come to Austin for the organization of the Texas State Historical Association. And they met just a few blocks down the street at the Capitol, and that organization has endured until this day. And to quote Johnny Jenkins, one of the foremost rare book collectors and sellers in the country, there probably are more history books published about Texas, if you take out California, than all the other states combined. All the other states combined. That's pretty amazing. And the Texas State Historical Association has had quite a bit to say about that. Now that's my TSHA side, John. From the Summerlee Foundation side, I look at this great university and I see that it is a world-class university. But people coming from outside who want to know about our state need to be able to come here to get the information. And we'll help with that too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm glad you could all be here. It looks like there's plenty of food left, so make sure you take it to go if you don't eat it here. And of course, you're welcome to additional wine and water and other drinks. So again, congratulations to the Texas State Historical Association. Thank you to the Summerlee Foundation, and we look forward to getting the best chief historian of Texas that we can, and we will. Thank you very much, everybody.